Hi, my name's Barbara, and I'd like to welcome you to the Intro to Programming Nano degree with Udacity. In this session, I'd like to go through the HTML markup and the various tags, some of the various tags that you can use in your HTML file. HTML is text-based, remember that, and so most of these text that we put in will be rendered as text in our browser. Okay, so before we make a start on creating our HTML file in our text editor, let's just run through the several text editors that I've got here. Atom, Sublime Text, and VS Code. I use Atom, so we will be using that in this session today. The fundamentals of HTML are text. Markup, HTML uses markup, which use tags such as the paragraph opening tag and closing tag that you see here, with a sentence or paragraph in between those tags. So we'll be looking at some of the tags, not all of them, mind, but just some of them, and demonstrating how they work. And HTML, because it's text-based, also uses references, so it will also use links or hyperlinks that will take you to an external web page, an image in your website or your web page, and also other text that may be on the same page that you want to jump to. For example, if you're at the bottom of the page, you want to go straight to the top of the page, and images, of course. So these three features of HTML actually create structure for your web pages. So here are just a few examples of markup and the use of HTML tags. Your opening tag and your closing tag there. You've got the paragraph tag, which you saw on the previous slide, shall I say, and a closing tag on the end with /, opening tag at the start of the sentence or paragraph. We've got headings. The heading tags range from H1, the largest font size, to H6, the smallest. We've got line break, so if you want a break between your paragraphs or your lines, you can use the break tag. The anchor tag helps us to create links, external or internal links, on our web page, so that we can move from one website to another, an image on a website to another, and so on, and different sections of our own page on a website or between pages in our website. So working with the Atom text editor, to open a new file, what you would need to do is go to File, select New File, and there we have an untitled file. Because we're working with the HTML file, we're going to go down to plain text here and select the corresponding HTML option here, so the browser knows that we're working with a HTML file. Then we're going to save that file, save as. Do make sure you have a Udacity folder created, and in that you could put subfolders for different projects when you come to them. So we're just going to say HTML underscore tags. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to save this as a .html file because that's what we're working with. So make sure you do put the extension .html and save it in your folder that you would have created. I'm going to cancel that because I've done this several times. I'm going to call that, put 3 on the end, and save. Okay, so HTML tags 3. There we have it. So you know now, you know how to open a new file in Atom, and so we can start our coding and use this to edit our code or any text that we put in there. Okay, so let's start by looking at some of the HTML tags that we looked at on the previous slide. I'm going to insert some text in here and some of the tags that that are used, shall I say, to structure a web page. Okay, so I'm just going to copy and paste it from a previous session. So here we are. So any HTML file should always start with the tag doc type HTML, so the browser knows we're dealing with a HTML file. And you will notice just before doc type, which is document type, there's an exclamation mark within that tag. And then the next thing is to let the browser know the HTML language that we're using, and in this case it's English, so we put equals EN in quotes, that stands for English. Depending on where you reside, you'll use the corresponding language. The header tag is the next thing that you need to remember to use. And inside our head tag, we have a title tag. And we've called this particular file HTML tags. Okay, and then we close our head tag with the closing tag, and when you see a blue line, when you click on one of your tags, you'll know that you have a corresponding closing and opening tag. If you don't see the tag, then you've missed one of those tags out. Our body tag will contain all our content that we'll see on our page, and also we have a header where I put in the basics of HTML, and that's our heading, that's what we'll see on our page. And we've closed the header off. Now I've included a div tag, which is short for division, and just imagine it as an imaginary box. And I've given it a class called container in quotes, and I want all my content to go into this box, and that's nested within the body tag. As you can see, it's inside the body tag, so it's still part of the body tag because it's inside it, nested within it. Okay, so let's develop this a bit further and put the rest of the sections that I want to put in, as well as explain how we put in internal links and external links. Okay, so here you can see I've developed the file further and put in the sections that I wanted to include and the tags that we're going to run through quickly, and the links also. So in this link here, this target link, we have a name equals top. Make sure you give your target anchors a name and put it in quotes, as you see right here. So the menu has a target anchor and it's called top, and we put that menu in strong, which is also known as bold, but so the menu will show up on your page in bold. A couple of break lines, break tags, line breaks, just separate the menu from the sections. We put in 5 sections. Each of those have header references, that's href, and the anchor tag here. So each section you can see has a hashtag, section 1 for example, in quotes, and then we've typed in the actual link that we want to create for users to click on to get to section 1, which is down here. So we've closed it off here with the closing anchor tag as well. Another break in there, and we've done the same for sections 2, 3, 4 and 5. So make sure you have a header reference for each of your sections that you want to put links on, and each of those sections will have a corresponding name for the actual target of the anchor, the link itself. Okay, so when we click on section 1, it will correspond with this in quotes, section 1, as we have up here the ID, which is the hashtag ID in section 1 up here. And the browser will know to move from here once it's clicked right down to section 1 down here. Each of our sections have corresponding subheadings and a paragraph. I'm going through this rather quickly, I know, but I think once we do one of them, you'll understand how it's all done. These are internal links, so we're jumping from section 1 in our page, for example, section 2 down to here. We click on section 3, we'll jump down to section 3 and so on. I've also created a header reference link here for the menu, so when the user clicks on jump to menu, it will jump back to the menu up here. It has the same corresponding name in quotes top, and again the header reference with the hashtag ID top corresponds with that, so the browser will know that when they click here, a user clicks there, it will ID that word top and find it up here. We've got an external link at the bottom also, which will take you to the website that I use to create this section on internal links. So let's run it through the browser and see what it looks like, shall we? So here we have it, our file rendered in our Chrome browser. We have our heading, H1 tag, remember we use the basics of HTML. We have our menu that we created and the 5 sections where we've given them all links, so the user can click on those and move through each of the sections throughout. Each section has a subheading, and in section 1, in this case it's introduction, and a paragraph, and here you can see this paragraph where we use the bold tag. Down here in section 2, the heading, we use the EM tag, the italics tag, and these two are just normal paragraph tags on those, and that one also. And here we see the subheading under section 4 in strong. Okay, so let's try clicking on one or two of these links that we created. Okay, so section 1 should take us to section 1 here. So let's try that out. And there you go, it goes to the top of our window. Section 2, likewise. Section 3, the same. And we did create the jump to menu. So when a user clicks on the jump to menu, that link should take them straight to the menu at the top. And there it is at the top of our window. Finally, here is our external link that we created to the website that I use to create this section. And so now we're going to see if that works. And there we have it, our external website link up here. And so the external link works as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed this session. Let me remind you that you have plenty of resources on the Udacity website to make use of. Make sure you use them when you log on to your classroom. Use and chat with your classmates. Sign up with the Slack community forums and get as much information as you can from your mentor if you need help. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this session on hyperlinks and HTML tags, and I hope to be doing some more videos for you. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being patient. Happy learning.